Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy, CryptoKeeper. Hopefully everybody is doing well today. I'm not sure. I'm getting maybe some information showing me that, did we go live? It looks like we're live, but it says, yeah, okay, I think we're live. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. All right, so Crypto fam, listen, if you have not already had a beautiful Tuesday, I hope that Tuesday progresses towards a beautiful one for you. Here in Ohio, we have had some crazy rainstorms this morning. We've got flooding, and we have got very possible, like more than possible, tornadoes that are coming through. And it's really strange because we've had tornadoes that have came through 3 times, I think, in the past couple months. So that is no fun. So, yeah, prayers to you and yours if you're in the Ohio area. I think it's actually just sweeping through the Midwest. I don't know. But, yeah. So, yeah. Today, we're going to talk about some fundamental analysis of the crypto markets. We're going to talk about a couple assets in particular. We're going to do a lot of TA. Listen, I told you about, yesterday I told you I lost Crusader, right? And so I'm going to be doing things different. So I'm planning on Tuesdays being more of a fundamental day, bringing people on that fundamentally know these markets. And the man that I have on today definitely knows that. And it is yours truly, Army Piper. What's up, Army?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Glad to see you, brother. Glad that you are here. What's going on the Army Piper front? I've got a few of your cronies coming on for Trading Wars that starts next Monday. You got them all trained up and ready. Is somebody from your team going to take home the dub with Trading Wars?
I would love for that to happen, man. But that time zone that they do that trading in, it's anyone's game. You can think you got the tiger by the tail, and then all of a sudden it turns around, and now you're in the claws of the tiger. So
yeah, I actually jumped into Alex O yesterday. He was doing some streaming. I was actually cooking some dinner and said, you know what? I see Alex O's live. Let me jump in there and say hello. And he started going on a little rant about how he's still licking his battle wounds from what should have been a win last season, as he calls it. And then I forget who it was. I think it might have been Dave Digital, jumped in and was like, bro, everybody played by the same rules. You knew the rules. You lost. Get over it.
Hey,
so what did you say?
I don't lick my wounds. So
you say you don't lick your wounds. You just let them be. Let them do their own thing.
Let them do their own thing, bro. Just whatever happens. That's how you play it. So
let me jump into the chat real quick and say hello. Who we got up in the chat? We got Patriot Caveman says, let's get it, fellas. Good to see you, Patriot Caveman, as always. All right, Jay, we got to talk about this. Says, I can tell Keeper's doing the thumbnails now. Looks like Santa Claus if he was a gym bro. Okay, that's great, Jay. It actually does. Okay, now listen. When you lose your business partner, all right, that does the thumbnails, you got to figure something out. So I'm working with some AI stuff. I'm talking to some other people to help me with thumbnails. So cut me some slack temporarily. And listen, the AI stuff is great, but for whatever reason, Army, it can't figure out the simple stuff. Letters. It's like CryptoWise. CryptoWise is what it is. Hands and letters.
Yeah, you'll get like 8 fingers sometimes, like, hey, look at my hand,
Dude, I was messing around with it, and I put out a thumbnail earlier, and I read it so quickly. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I tossed it on to X. And then all of a sudden I realized that we must all be from Boston because it was CryptoWise. W-A-Z. Wise, not Crypto Wars, CryptoWise. So shout out to Crypto Lifer for that one.
We just need to get you enrolled into Piper Academy, and one of those perks, you can go Piper. Teach me how to make thumbnails on Photoshop. I'll give you a Photoshop crash course. I'll give you a Photoshop crash course. I got you, Keeper. I'm all about supporting the community, man.
I appreciate
Givers
that.
Game, which, by the way, Givers Games tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Billy Goat Tales.
Billy Goat Tales for sure.
I'll be there.
Actually was talking to another one of your cronies just a little bit ago, Crux of Crypto, and he said that he has a conceptual thumbnail that he's almost got worked out for me. So we're gonna kind of talk about that. I might bring him on to the crew and see if he can't help out some. And so I appreciate you throwing people my way. And then Caffeinated Crypto. What's that?
They're not my cronies, though. They're not my cronies. They stand Shona Bashona, as they say in Afghanistan. They stand shoulder to shoulder with me. They're my team. So
that's right. I love it. Kenton Smith in the house. Clay the Great. We got Million. There you go. Million Trading. Hello. Good to see you. He's saying hello to Clay, not saying hello to us. But yeah, guys, I'm excited about the stream today. We're going to dive into some fundamentals. Like I said, you're going to see the stream changing some different things. Hopefully I can cut it. All right. So let me know, guys. I am always up for, criticism. I like it. I need it. All right, let's get into it. Let me take a look at the markets.
Let's get into it.
I think most people know where the markets are at, but let me share my entire screen here. This will make it a little easier here. Oh, here you go. Here's the crypto Waz, W-A-Z, crypto Waz, and then Keeper has got like multiple, like instead of just an E, it's got like an extra little leg on Keeper there. So that's always fun. Let's look at the global crypto market cap.
Wait, did you say Keeper has an extra leg? Does that mean?
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But we probably shouldn't get into that on YouTube. Probably gonna get in trouble for that one. The global crypto market cap is at 2.57 trillion with a T dollars. That's down 4.8%. Hey, Army, have you noticed? So I started using CoinGecko as opposed to using CoinMarketCap. For whatever reason, for me, I don't know why. CoinMarketCap will not, let me take this down for a second. CoinMarketCap will not load and keep updated the basically the change over the last 24 hours and what the global market cap is. Have you noticed that, or does it only me that it does that too?
No, it's because it's 24 hours exactly ago.
So it's always trying to update?
Yes.
So it's like an API that literally by the second is like trying to just like keep up, and it just can't.
It just can't.
I'm using CoinGecko because of that, because it definitely is irritating. Bitcoin 65,560. We're going to get into some TA here in a minute to see why it's looking like that. It's down 0.2% on the hour, 4.3% on the 24-hour, and down 6.8% on the week. ETH taking a beating over 5% the last 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. The top 10 is getting slaughtered, and we're going to talk about a lot more than just the top 10 getting slaughtered. The entire crypto markets are getting slaughtered, and there's a reason for it fundamentally of some things that are happening outside of the crypto markets, and I think that this is really important to understand. So one of the things that I want to throw out there to each and every one of you is that you can't just be lasered in on crypto. You have to pay attention outside of these crypto markets if you want to stay up to date on why things are happening the way that they are. So rolling on down through, let's see, is anything really not bleeding right now? I mean, is anything? No, I mean, all the way down. Caspa's down at number 47 right now. It's up over the past hour, but that's about it. Everything is just getting slaughtered. Now, Army, I'm going to do just a little bit of TA, and I would like your thoughts on what I'm looking at here. Okay, this is just something that I'm looking at, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are. All right, so we've got Bitcoin. I've got a volume profile pulled over the last week, and what we look at is we have the value area high, the point of control in red, and then the value area low. And what I was doing yesterday was I had this line right here. Whoops, nope, that's not what I meant to do. Trash that. No, get rid of that. Whoopsie. There we go. I wanted to touch on the trend line, but it was not letting me do that. Here we go. Okay. So I had this trend line yesterday, and I think I had it about right here. Well, actually, I think I was right here. And we were continuing to make higher lows. And I was like, okay, it's okay. We're doing okay, right? Over the last week, we continue to play with the point of control. Then all of a sudden, we got to about right here, and we just piled through. Now, here's what I want to show. I've got this trend line here. We've got the point of control that we absolutely blasted through. Now we're at the value area low down here, right?
What time frame is that on?
This is on a 15 minute, right? I'm pretty zoomed out, but this is on a 15 minute, right? And so ultimately at this spot, right there's a lot of open space there. But we dropped just straight down through here, and this is the point right here where we blasted down through and are no longer making higher lows. So now not only are we not making higher lows, let me clear some of this up. Not only are we not making higher lows, but we are about to break through the value area low over the last week. So my concern, combined with being or something that would be good, I guess I should say, on the prime oscillators, we're showing that we are oversold basically the last couple hours. We've got a green dot on Market Cipher. We've got the money flow headed down, though. Basically, what I'm looking at is if we don't hold this value area low, my thought process, and I want to hear it from you, we have the combination of making a lower high, or I mean, making a lower low, breaking through the value area low over the last week. And I don't know. I just feel like we're not in a great spot. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I think you're onto something there. I actually think that we have some reasons to visit a little bit lower than here.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and pull up my chart, I'll walk you through what I'm seeing.
Walk me through it. Let's see it.
So this is a 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. And I had basically a similar trend line to what you did on the 15-minute there.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is a 4-hour one.
Yes.
Yeah. You were onto something there. But we tried to come back up and get back above it for an entire 24-hour period there. Each one of these being 4 hours, there's about 6 candles there. That's about a 24-hour period. And then we hit this auto printed trend line that came off of ChartPrime's indicators. Okay. That gave us the rejection there. Fake out above it, down we come. To note, what I want to point out on here, let me go ahead and remove a couple of things on here. Let's remove that, and then let's get rid of that. And then we're going to go and take a look at this area here. So this little box right here that I have on here, this amber box on Bitcoin, that is going to be over here. And that level is coming in at about 63,690. That's the CME gap that we have not filled. We are in the process of filling that CME gap right now. This whole area here is a CME gap. And so we still have a little bit lower to go to close that out.
Haven't we filled part of it? Haven't we filled part of it?
Yes.
Right there, right? Yeah, that little
section right here. Yep.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. Okay. That section right there has been filled already. So I'm watching for that to happen. But as of right now, we're still filling that CME gap. I'm not overly concerned about this massive pullback that's happening right now, because in the grand scheme of things, like here, we'll take a look at crypto. Here's your crypto.
In the grand scheme of things, it's crypto. So just let's start there. It's crypto.
No, in the grand scheme of things, crypto's red, but stocks are red across the board in every sector. ETFs are all red. Guys, it's all of the markets. This is what happens when you have the data that's come out in the past couple of days that has to do with economic data. But if you really want to get a better picture of how things are looking, it's as simple as jumping over to my master chart here. Guys, all that red, it's literally this one candle right here. That's it.
What is that? How zoomed out are you there?
That's a weekly chart for Bitcoin.
The weekly chart. Okay.
We're still in this long-term running channel here. We're still in this long-term running golden pocket right now that we broke into. This is the entire history of Bitcoin, going all the way back to its inception on Bitstamp. And if you take a look at what we have here, every time that we came down, hit the golden pocket, we pulled out of it. This is the first time that we broke below, when everyone said, yeah, but we've never had a Bitcoin bear market in the middle of an economic collapse. You're right. And that's why we went below the golden pocket. We tried to hold it here. Let me bring that into focus a little bit for everyone out there. We tried to hold it here for about 2 months. Couldn't do it. We broke down below it. I told you guys on here numerous times, if I've told you once, that we were never going to break the 786. I was telling you guys that here and here, if you remember that. I'm not sure how far back you remember, Keeper. That beard takes a lot of brain power to grow. But I said we weren't going to break that. We never have. And now we have pulled out of phase one. There's 3 phases in every cycle that I've identified here. The bottoming phase one, and then we go into phase 2. Sometimes you pull back in, do another phase 2, and then you got a pandemic here that wrecks everything. But typically we do phase 1. We pull into phase 2, which is between the 50% fib and the golden pocket fib. By the way, these fibs horizontally are being pulled off of candle close tops and bottoms for the whole cycle. Okay. And then once we retest the golden pocket, that's typically where we get into the bull market after the halving, right? Even back here, even though we pulled back into it, you can see post halving, we broke up into phase 3, tested the golden pocket. That was the beginning of the pull of the run. Well, we already tested the golden pocket back here on this 21% pullback that we had back in January, and we just retested that cleanly, pulled up and broke out of phase 3. I actually would not be surprised for us to come all the way back and test the 887 at $56,000 before we do a continuation up. So as of right now, this is your red candle. That's it. That's what's happening with all this red in the grand scheme of things. Sometimes you just got to zoom out and breathe.
Yeah,
just
dude.
breathe.
So many times people they get so zoomed in, and the funny thing for me is that a lot of times, I look at a closer, a zoomed in version because we're streaming on a daily basis, right? But the reality is, a lot of people that watch are freaking out about the small little movements. But if you look at what they do on a regular basis, they're not actively day trading. So it honestly does not matter. So the great thing that I see, and I want to kind of give some people some encouragement, is that if maybe you have been dollar cost averaging, this might give you another opportunity to add a little bit to your bags. Like, it is healthy for this to pull back. I've talked about this a million times. You cannot just go up and to the right. If you just go up and to the right and just continue to just blast up and to the right, when it does go down, you are going to get absolutely hammered. And I've told people this before. I have been in these markets when the move happens so violently that the exchanges literally will shut down your ability to even to move, right? And it feels super sketch. It feels super just, but it will happen. So it's actually I think it's a really good thing that we get these healthy pullbacks. I think they are healthy. And I do think that it gives people an opportunity. I think people are too zoomed in, just like you were saying there, Army, because in the grand scheme of things, we're right on track. We're doing what we're supposed to do. We've got the halving coming up. That's getting ready to happen here in a couple weeks. And guess what? We usually get a pre and post dump, halving, right? Pre-halving, post-halving, just, some volatility. And if you trade, the volatility is good for you. If you don't trade, maybe it's an opportunity for another entry to maybe add a little bit more capital to your long-term bags. So I see it as a good thing either way.
Absolutely. You got Crux of Crypto down there in the chat. I just saw him drop in here. You were talking about him earlier. So yeah.
Shout out. Crux of Crypto. I appreciate you, bro. I took a look at your message. I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you for offering to help, brother. I definitely appreciate that, man. So shout out to you.
Yeah, Mike. Sure. The team's here for you, Keeper. We're here for you, bro.
I appreciate that for sure. Thank you guys very much. All right. So if you haven't smashed the like already, make sure to do that. Let me remind everybody, obviously, we've got Trading Wars starting next Monday. That is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super excited about that. Make sure that you guys are here. We have got a heck of a lineup. We have got AJ Wrights Crypto, Bullish Trader, Magic Internet Money, Jenna X, Crypto Blood, Alex O, Drew Wolfer, OC Guy, Tradefly, and Johnny Crypto. So fantastic lineup of people who have been trading.
You got 66% of my morning show on your
We probably contest. Do. Yeah. Well, Tradefly, let's see. Tradefly,
and OC. Yep. And then you got Jenna X,
and Alex O,
good friend. Alex O, good friend. Yeah. So I got a lot of reasons to watch this season. You got my circle of friends, my super friends on there.
You'll definitely be back on. I know you've been crazy busy. I'm looking forward to having you back on too. I also want to throw out there, guys. There we go. I just pulled it up. I didn't realize if I had it pulled up or not. We also have Flip or Hodl. That is not changing just because Crusader's gone. I'm going to continue to play Flip or Hodl. $4,500 the next time we play. Again, this is a sponsorship thing, right? So I have got and I'm keeping everybody's super chat. So if you guys are throwing in super chats, every dollar, put your name on once. 2x multiplier for being a member, and 3x if you gift out membership. So just reminding everybody of that. There's not very many names on the chart right now. Let me look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 people overall that are on there, and there's $4,500 up for grab. Now, there's a lot more names than that, but that is the number of different people that are on there. So if you guys want to get involved, make sure to do that. All right.
Oh, you just got got Clay the Great just gifted 10 Crypto Wars memberships. So you got 10 new members. 10 new members, man.
Did you say Clay gifted 10?
10. So 10. I Love Crypto got one. Gibby 13 got one. Trading Grubs got one. What is it? Of Near Crypto?
Yeah. Clay the Great is trying to. Yep. Clay the Great is trying to. Clay the Great is trying to come on the he's trying to come on the show again and win some more money. He actually came on and only won. We ended up donating some extra money because he was going to do some stuff for the military. But when Clay the Great came on, it was he was one of the first people to come on the show, on to Flipper Hodl and play. And I think he only ended up winning like $70 or something like that. And everybody else has won like 700, 800, 1200, like big money. You know what I mean? I felt bad for him. So we did end up donating some money to him because it was going to the military. But Clay the Great's trying to come on strong because he's got his name on this list a bunch. All right, cool. So let's get into why. All right, we want to talk about fundamentals. I do want to dive into a specific project a little bit today too, and I want to get Army kind of your input on this, but we'll do that a little bit later. I have told a lot of people that I've been mining Caspa and have other people that are involved with me personally that are mining Caspa under my mining farm, under one of my mining farms. And so I want to talk about Caspa specifically, but let's talk about, let's roll it back. We said fundamentals for today. Let's talk about fundamentally the entire overarching theme of crypto. So let me start off with this, Army. Has anything changed?
A little bit. There's been a little bit of change, and here's what it is. If you go ahead and pull up, the reason all this is happening is because everyone's going risk off right now. That's what's going on. There's some data coming out on the economic side that's causing people to want to go risk off, meaning they don't want to have their money exposed to higher risk than what they need to. So they're going back to the US dollar right now. The dollar's been pumping. And if we take a look here, the US dollar climbs to a 4.5-month high. Expectations of a June rate cut are dimming, and we're going to take a look at all of that. I've got a bunch of data. You just tell me when to shut the hell up.
Hit it. And I will tell you, I do want to say something real quick, Army. When you go through this, I might stop you a couple times just to ask you to, like, we take for granted some stuff that we just like understand the correlation of a number of things. I might stop you a couple times and ask you what the correlation is and why some of these things matter. But go ahead.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give a breakdown right off the bat on the first one. What is the Dixie? A lot of people don't realize. They think it's the strength of the dollar. It's not. It's actually the strength of the dollar against the basket of 6 others that have a weighted value. So the biggest, heaviest one of the weighted values is the euro. And so the Dixie is weighted against those 6 other currencies, meaning that not only is the dollar right now here, go back to the 2 camp for a second here, because I want to explain this to people real fast. So not only is the dollar right now the risk off for the U.S. markets, the dollar is the other assets right now that are out there. For example, if you take a look at like what it's doing versus the euro and what it's doing, I can pull that up and show here. But it's not just it's
crushing everything itself. Is what you're saying, yeah?
It is the dollar. Like here it is, the euro. You can see this big dump here. This is the euro versus US dollar. A little pull up again, and now we're getting another red candle. The British pound. It's just nothing's holding up against the US dollar well right now. On top of our markets, which are all people are flooding away from it to get back into something a little more stable, right? Yeah. So that is why that's important. But when we take a look here at the dollar, how the other nations are seeing the US dollar as strong, so are investors right now in comparison to the risk that they run of the data coming out right now. And what that data is here, the biggest one, Monday, this happened yesterday, stronger than expected reading from the ISM, that is the Institute of Supply Management for U.S. manufacturing. So what this is this is the cost of goods for the ISM, for manufacturing companies to buy stuff to produce. So what manufacturers need goods, they have to produce a good, and it takes product to produce that good. Those costs are going up. The manufacturer price for materials rose 50 to 55.8. It's the highest it's been since July of 2022, which is resurging those fears. It's rekindling those fears of inflation rearing its ugly head and coming back. So the thing that I want to show here is right there. That's the S&P Global Manufacturing and the ISM Manufacturing. These are what they're referencing there. You can see here that they thought it was going to be, previously it was 47.8. They thought it was going to be around 48.4 to 48.3. Crushed both of those projections with a much higher number coming in at 50.3. And that is the big factor that is causing everyone to get scared again. You can click on here and go into this, and it will show you that the manufacturing PMI came up. Marked the first expansion in the manufacturing sector after 16 months of contraction. So after 16 months of it going downward, now it's coming back up. We've seen numerous things that are saying, hey, inflation's coming back. To top it off this morning, this is why we had more pull back again today. JOLTS job openings. So if you guys don't know what JOLTS job openings are, these are jobs not including farm and stuff like that. So these are like jobs that are not seasonal.
Okay.
Matter of fact, there's a nice breakdown here. During the month, job openings increased in finance and insurance by 126,000. Okay. State and local government, excluding education, was up 91,000 jobs. Arts and entertainment, recreation, 51,000 jobs. But if you look at what came down, job openings decreased in information services. Where'd it go? Are we back?
Yeah,
I just lost my screen there for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like a decrease in information. Why are you being so weird? Thank you. It's 91,000 or 85,000 jobs decreased for information. 21,000 jobs were cut in federal government. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Regarding regional distribution, look at the South. South is getting wrecked. They lost 62,000 jobs compared to the West, which is 81,000 jobs. So a lot of stuff in the West Coast, bringing in a lot of jobs while everything else is getting jobs cut. Now, why that matters, you can go back to 2Cam and we'll talk about this. So you can see job openings opening up. They're looking good. We had inflation coming back a little bit higher. So why this matters is that if inflation is coming back up, the only thing the Fed Reserve can do is continue to stay higher for longer, with even the option on the table of increasing Fed rates.
Yeah.
And the reason that they can do that is because job numbers for the labor force are not getting wrecked. As long as that number is fake as you want to think it is, or manipulated as we think the federal government does with that stuff in an election year, at the end of the day, they still have the numbers to justify, look, labor force is not getting wrecked over here. We can raise this by 0.25 and get this inflation back in line. That is what is causing the massive shriek of fear in investors and causing them to run back to the dollar right now. So good little breakdown there. I hope it's not too much, but that's what's happening. So.
No, these are the things that people, need to understand the correlation and why, because a lot of times it feels like, or at least I know when I first got into crypto, I came from the stock market over into crypto. And when I came into crypto, for whatever reason, I was very lasered in on just crypto. And what I started to realize was that, like, listen, you have to have your finger on the pulse of what's happening macroeconomically everywhere else, because the reality is, like, this is a risk on asset. And so it needs to be viewed just like any other risk on asset as such. And so I see here's the thing, like, if they did raise rates, and here's what we need to keep our eye on, the prize, right? Everybody wants to be a multimillionaire tomorrow in crypto. Okay. So do I, right? I'd love to just wake up tomorrow and just be, just filthy freaking rich. Okay.
Great. Put me in, coach.
Yeah, exactly. Put me in. But the reality is we need our economy to stabilize and come back in the right direction. And so if we can they always talk about the soft landing, which I've said forever, like, you're not going to have a soft landing. I don't think it's been so damn soft, but overall, like, we have continued to hold up. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep it up. Go ahead.
I actually think that we might have one of the softest landings that we've had on these types of situations in history, at least for the past 100 years. Here's why.
Okay.
Because we've never had such a long range foresight of recession. Like we've been talking about recession for 2 years. That's never been the case.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk about the coming recession for 2 years. It normally happens very quickly.
Yeah.
So that's one. Two, as much as I hate the current administration, I can say that because I'm out of the military now. So as much as I hate the current administration and the current people in power, Jerome Powell has done a really decent job on managing this. He was handed a bowl of poo and said to make banana bread at work, and he's working that. He's trying, man. He's actually done a better job than what I thought he would do. So shout out to him. So
yeah. At the end of the day, like, we have to get the inflation back under control. So if there is basically a sacrifice that need be made, or a sacrifice that happens in the meantime, where it takes crypto a little bit longer than anticipated to absolutely blast off, it's not going to be this tragic, catastrophic thing. The reality is we have so much bullish going for us in the crypto markets, the combination of the halving with it being an election year, with like we ultimately have a great setup for this to move in the right direction. And so if we are able to, on top of that, get some sort of a little rate cut here or there, my God, who knows how high this thing will freaking go. So let me ask you this, Army. What do you think the chances are? Don't you have a chart for the rate cuts? So chances of a rate cut in May are next to freaking nothing, I feel like, right?
Yeah, it's
how
like
about moving forward from
1%
there?
chance. It's like 1%. So I want to address Fade and Trade Fi. Shout out to him. He's always over on Investing Bros. He said, did he say a rate increase? And yes, I did say that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that, but that is still a fear when you see this data and this data.
It's on the table.
That typically equates to this data. Correct, right? It's on the table. So, but when we look at this chart here, the FO, this is the CME Fed Watch Tool for CME Group. They do this little, a lot of smart people over there putting their brain power together, looking at all the data, aggregating everything to make an assessment, the Intel cycle, if you will. And then they come out and they say, what are the chances on these? And it goes forward. So right now we're looking at a 1% chance of a rate cut for 1 May. So we're about little less than a month right now from that next.
Because they don't
FOMC meeting.
They don't need to do it with the other economic the data that's coming out. It says, hey, we don't need to. We want to continue to try to curb inflation. So why would we cut rates right now? We're going to hold off.
Right. But another way of controlling that inflation is not dropping those rates. Because if they keep them higher for longer, it slows down loans. Not be able to get loans makes people not be able to buy stuff, which slows down the demand versus the supply. That's what inflation is at the end of the day. Inflation is strictly supply and demand. So looking at June, we're looking at like a 63% chance. I am going to go ahead and make this call now. You're going to see this number get lower and you're going to see this number get higher. So that 37.1 chance of no change, which means pause, right, is going to go up, I believe, as we come into June 12th, just because I think we are going to have some inflation taking place, especially when I look at some other data that I showed you a little bit earlier, and we'll bring that up looking at oil prices and regional banks. Regional banks are going to be my hope and savior for Bitcoin, and we'll talk about that too. But yeah, it doesn't look like, I don't think we're going to actually see the chance of a rate cut become real until September 18th. So that's what I'm watching there.
So let's look at that. We've got it is currently April. We've got April. We have the halving, right? So April, May, June, July, August, September. You're basically saying 6 months from now. Okay. That's also 60 days prior to, or just actually a little bit less than that, but around 2 months prior to the election, which looks really freaking good.
Put it together.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it look real. And it almost like if they push it out that far, it does help or should help theoretically inflation over the course of that. So then they can say, boom, guess what? Things have been going so well. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, and by the way, we're going to bless you here with a rate cut. Aren't we the freaking best? And
well, yeah, it's a political, it's another political talking point for, that last 60 days for Biden. So, however, if they cut too soon, here's another scenario for you. If they cut too soon and it looks good at first, and then all of a sudden the effects come back and Trump was to win, they can say, look, he wrecked everything too. So you can play that either direction. Either direction, like, oh, they cut it and it did well, or they cut it too soon and everything crashed. Well, look, it's because Trump won. I would not be surprised to see them pull the pin too soon on that grenade. Just if it looks like Trump is winning in the polls, just to set Trump up for failure. So
I don't disagree whatsoever. I actually have a video that I put out not too terribly long ago talking about effectively the setup that is happening in the effectively the Oval Office / the Fed to do exactly what you're talking about. I did a video on this because I do believe that the political side of this, you need to understand, is incredibly important, and they are willing to, at all costs, right? It's just a fact. They're willing to, at all costs, try to punish that man and anyone else that follows him. And we're talking about economic market. There's no holds bar on it. You saw how far they were willing to go on the fog around the world. as Crusader and I always used to call it. You saw how far they were willing to push that. And now that the data is all out, that it was all bullshit, and that all the things that I was saying and got kicked off of TikTok for saying, and all of the, couldn't say on YouTube, whatever. Now that the data is out, guess who wants us just to forget it? Let's just move past it. Right. So I don't want to talk
to the past, Keeper.
Yes, exactly. And I hate even talking about it now because I know it can flag the channel. So all that just to say, we have a setup in the making for an incredibly bullish time in crypto, but there's also another there's an opportunity for them to be able to crush the markets just because they want to make Donald Trump look bad. And that's a reality.
It absolutely could happen. Yeah, I read a report the other day. There was a report the other day. They were talking about the numbers that violent crimes and murders have dropped under the presidency of Biden. And it was a pretty interesting article because, they have the numbers. If you look at the numbers, absolutely true statement. Violent crimes and murders have dropped under the Biden administration. However, what's the
caveat? What's the caveat here?
There's always a caveat, man. What they failed to tell you is that 2 years ago, they stopped mandatory reporting to the DOJ from police departments.
There it is.
Would you like to know what cities had zero reporting in the past 48 months? I want to hear what you think they are.
Chicago, New York City, and LA.
Bingo. Good job. And Miami. Don't forget Miami. Those 4 cities.
What?
Zero reporting in the past 2 years. And it's only a 13% drop in murders and violent crime with those 4 cities.
You left off the bangers of bangers out of the freaking data. Dude,
can't even make this up, man. It's absolutely horrible. Yeah.
It is so freaking bad. So crypto fam, listen, smash that like if you haven't already. If you're not following Army Piper, make sure to do that. I've got his link down below. I'm going to assume that probably everybody in here is either in Piper Academy or definitely has seen you on here or your show before. I missed it. I was talking. What'd you say?
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
It's my soundbite for my alumni, man.
I need to get the actual, that's something I need to do. I need to get the soundboard, either get the soundboard from Crusader or I need to get myself a new one of the two, because I need to be able to do some things that I otherwise cannot do right now. So
you see pick up a stream deck. You'll do fine. I got you, man.
Pick up a what?
A stream deck.
A stream deck. What is that?
Yep. It's this little device that I don't know if I can get it on camera.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Right there.
I've seen those before. Yep. Okay.
That's all you need, man.
So we had the Rode Procaster 2 or whatever, and that thing, works incredibly well, but he was always the one operating it. So I'll have to check that out. Okay. So let's talk about a specific crypto. I've got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to be on Crypto Blood's channel. So shout out to Blood. I think Blood was in the stream at some point, but I'm going to be over on Crypto Blood's channel here in about 21 minutes. But I want to talk about a specific cryptocurrency that I have personally been invested in, that I, can talk about and chill all I want. I'm never going to move the actual market cap, but I've been mining. I want to talk about Caspa. Okay. Army, do you know anything about Caspa? First of all, are you familiar with it whatsoever? Or is this going to be an interesting conversation because you don't know anything about it? I'm asking.
So, interestingly enough, I actually told my community to buy Caspa at 4.5 cents.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even with the market down right now, you're up 300%. If they would have.
Oh yeah, I'm up a lot on my Caspa. A lot. It's all sitting on my tangent. I'm good. But also, we also have a video that Crux of Crypto did on Crux's curriculum on our channel. He did a deep dive into Caspa.
Okay.
So
awesome. So
if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic video. He talks about, the developers, the team, what it is, block DAG and ghost DAG and all that good stuff. He's way smarter than that. I'm an analyst by trade, 22 years in the Army. I was an Intel analyst. I take data, aggregate data, assess data, predict data, right? Yeah. But he's really good at those deep dives. So yeah, I'm very familiar with it. I've actually been tracking it on an extended Fibonacci extensions. for a long time. And
I'll tell you
I have
what,
a great chart for it.
I'll tell you what, while I kind of go over the overview of Caspa right now, if you can maybe pull up a chart in the background and show me kind of what you're looking at as a chart with Caspa after I kind of go through this. Does that work?
Yep. Go for it. I got it
cool.
ready.
So I was introduced to Caspa. I've got the mining farm down in Paraguay, and was introduced to Caspa as I've got a mining farm here in the United States now, right? And so what I started to look at was, I realized, or after doing some deep dive into it, is that you have two proof of work blockchains that are number one and number two in the world. Number one being Bitcoin. Oh yeah, big surprise. But number two is Caspa, right? Number two is Caspa. And a lot of people will ask, like, why? And the reality is, like, it is a very, very, I've been talking about forever how I think utility is going to be very important for this run. Okay. Caspa is up there for so many different reasons, but it's a really scalable layer one blockchain that uses, as you started to say, Army, block DAG, right? That's different than just traditional blockchain. Basically, the things that can do allows to the directed acyclic graph. It allows for blocks to be added in parallel with each other, which does what? It significantly increases the throughput and then reduces the confirmation times. Okay. So you're able to fire a lot more data through there. Now, secondly, a lot of people argue against proof of work. Proof of work has been proven time and time and time again, right? Even though a lot of different networks are moving over to proof of stake, the proof of work has been advantageous for those who ultimately love the security. Is one of the biggest things that you get. Right? Second, decentralization. It's a buzzword all the time, right? But Caspa, when we use proof of work, just like with Bitcoin, the most decentralized system ever, like, you're not going to be able to shut it down. It allows participants all over the world to contribute in the network. Now, not only does it do that, just like Bitcoin, and becomes incredibly decentralized, but now it's using this different structure, this block DAG, which says, hey, we can put all this data in parallel channels and we can get the throughput up. We can make this thing incredibly fast. It's open source. So, anybody can look into and kind of see what's happening. So it's transparent, right? The community obviously loves that. And there's a lot that's being built through the community on Caspa, which is obviously just going to continue. And then the big one for me on top of all of that are low fees. The transaction fees for everyday use are absolutely minute. Now, let's add one more thing to that, and then I want to see your chart on it. Caspa is with as it were with the power output. The machines are about $180 a month for me to be able to run them. Whereas, like, literally doesn't matter what the terahash of the machine is, that's what it costs to run it. Whereas with Bitcoin, it is significantly higher than that. And guess what? The profits in Caspa mining significantly outweigh Bitcoin. So what I've been doing is looking for opportunity in mining. Opportunity is, I don't care what I'm actually mining. I want to be able to make as much money as humanly possible. So you can do something like mine Caspa and pay out in Bitcoin. This is called arbitrage mining. And this is something that I have been doing. I see, and I want to see what your thoughts are here, but I see Caspa going to $1 plus. It's at 13 cents right now, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, it's at 12.9 cents right now, right at 13 cents.
You're not bullish enough.
Okay, so I get told that, right? So I see this going to $1 plus. But check this out. That's an 8.5x from where it's at. That's 850% from where it's at right now. And a lot of people are talking $2, $3, $4, $5. Now, let me say this. If I'm mining this whole time and I'm able to take profits maybe at 25, 50, 75, $1, or just sit and wait for that $1, whatever the case may be, I'm going to be able to stack a lot of this. And when the returns come in as it hits $1 and higher, they're going to be absolutely insane. So, Army, show me what you think, what your thought process is as far as how you would chart Caspa.
Awesome. Well, first, I got that video right here. I'm not going to play it. I just want to show you guys. Come over here to our videos. It's right there. Next Bitcoin is what question mark is what Crux said about Caspa. So that's the whole breakdown on there. But let's go ahead and jump over into the chart. So this goes all the way back. Let me go ahead and close this off here. And I'm going to turn off all of the ChartPrime power. I'm going to unplug the power cord. There we go. This is a trend-based fib extension that starts all the way back when I first started eyeballing this back in May of 2023. And I had this trend line here that we were bouncing up. When we touched here and got a bounce off of it is when I told my community to buy. Now, all of these gold lines that you see coming up here, these are phases, like they are extensions of the golden pocket. So if you guys know anything about fibs, you got the golden pocket that typically is where you get all of your that's the break point. Once you get through that, it's an upside from there. And then this is like the 618 again, the 1.618, the 2.618, so on and so forth. I started calling for these golden pockets to get hit, and you can see how much play there was. So I know that the sequencing's right. A lot of play on that one. Came back for a perfect retest there. Matter of fact, let me hide this fixed range volume profile real fast. Look at the perfect rejection and test on those. So the sequencing was right for this one. I saw all these getting retested, I was like, all right, I've got it right. This is what we're going to run with. So we actually right now, if we come over, there we go. There we are. We just now tried to break up through the phase 6 back to the phase 7, and we're getting rejected. I could see us come back to the 11.2, and here's why. The 11.2 was a previous playground for price to bounce back and forth. Look at this trade channel that it did in between these two gold pockets here. Okay. I think that we could come back down to there again. But the one point that I think that why I said you're not bullish enough, I actually think that we still have a 20x on Caspa from here, just based on its adoption rate, based on the fact, and a lot of this is discussed in the video, they don't even have smart contracts yet.
I know. And they're not on freaking most exchanges.
Any major exchange yet. Man, I'm telling you, you're not bullish enough on Caspa. But yeah, we had a perfect rejection on that phase 9 golden pocket. And it's just been downside from there. So I do think that right now 11.2 is where I think we could be going to.
On the table.
Top side, strap in. That's it.
Dude, I love it. And I think that is a huge piece that you said there at the end, that ultimately it's not listed on any of the big dog exchanges, really, right? You can get it on MEXC, you can get it on a couple different exchanges, but the reality is, for being the second largest proof of work blockchain in the world that is solving real world problems and making it happen, and the smart contracts aren't there, I don't see anything but upside potential.
Do you know Crypto Archie?
I know the name Crypto Archie. I know, like, I've heard something.
He's a good friend of mine, good friend of the channel. He actually made a comment that really made me like triple look at Caspa when I first started getting into it. And he said, if Satoshi Nakamoto existed today and understood blockchain where it is today based on where it's come from, that block DAG is probably what Bitcoin would be if made today, which is why Crux said, is it the next Bitcoin? So not that it's going to go to Bitcoin prices, but is it going to have that adoption rate, that network effect adoption that Bitcoin saw in the beginning?
God, I sure hope that it does, because it would be absolutely insane for my pockets. Mark Dutch said, so a miner costs you $180 to run per month. How much does it mine and how much does it purchase a device? The things, let me just say this, the things that are tough about Caspa is usually people don't have someone to work on the machines. They can be, there is absolutely a science behind working on the machines. The second thing is barrier to entry. The machines that are really pulling in dollars and cents are really pulling in and mining Caspa. They're expensive. They're 10 grand plus, right? They just are. Okay. Yeah, you can mine little things here and there, whatever. But like the machines that we are in my mining farm playing with, they're 10 grand plus each, right? But they're pulling in a lot of money. Let me put it this way. Even with the prices down right now, just with everything down right now, the ROI is about 8 months to pay for your machine, even with everything down. Okay. Now, that's assuming that there's never a price increase over the next 8 months. So think about this. In 8 months, you pay off a machine. Let's say the price never moves. And this is what I like to tell people, and this is why it's beautiful, right? You pay off that machine. Now you have a machine that is a money printer for you exponentially moving forward. So you can buy another machine, and now you can have 2 machines running to pay off that second machine, which goes twice as fast, then 2 to 4, then 4 to 8. And you can continue to do that. Obviously, you're going to need to take profits along the way, but the exponential opportunity that is there is freaking insane. If you guys have questions or want to hit me up on that, you can send me an email over to debatecrypto@gmail.com, because ultimately in my farm, I've still got a lot of space, and we have somebody that's there for security and to work maintenance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will literally be receiving mailbox money. So just throwing it out.
That's called compounding gains, Keeper. Good job.
Yep.
That's finance 101, bro.
and that's where it's at, right? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. That's why people invest. They want to compound gains, and that's what you're going to get.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, and if Army's talking, $2, I mean, good gracious, it's going to be a beautiful next couple years for your boy CryptoKeeper. Well, Army, listen, I appreciate you for coming on, brother. You kill it. You never disappoint. You and your whole team are killing it. You're going to catch me really soon on the side of YouTube. So keep crushing it. Keep killing it. Make sure you guys are following Army Piper. If you're not already part of the Piper Academy, follow him. We have our, let me see if I put it. I think I put it into, I think I should have it.
Mark Dutch has been dropping it too.
Yeah, I've got my ChartPrime. If you guys are looking to, if you guys are looking to get involved with ChartPrime, I've got my link down below the video for ChartPrime as well, and Market Cipher, both of those. I like to use both of those. You'll see as I do TA in conjunction with each other. I think they work well together.
I have them both.
That up. What's that?
I have both of them.
Exactly. And Army is heavily involved with ChartPrime. So that should tell you something, right? All right, Crypto fam, we love you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We're going to continue to stream Monday through Friday. Again, you will see things changing. Hopefully, I'll get better with the thumbnails, guys. Okay, I'm working on it. Cut me some slack. It's been 2 days now. But Army, you did a fantastic job as always. Thank you for bringing the alpha to the show. Crypto fam, we love you. You could have been anywhere on a Tuesday, but you're hanging out with your boy, CryptoKeeper on Crypto Wars. Make sure that you're here next Monday. Obviously, be here tomorrow and Thursday and Friday too. But next Monday is the first day of season 4 of Trading Wars. It's going to be epic. Make sure that you're there. Question everything. Trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot.
Like it's hot.
We will see you soon.